The question is, the bill will now read a second time, and I call the member for Hughes.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'm pleased this morning to rise to speak on the Excise Tariff Amendments Bill and the Customs Tariff Amendments Bill of 2017. These bills, Deputy Speaker, increase the rate of excise and tariff on tobacco products other than cigarettes. And Deputy Speaker, I'm glad that this bill has bipartisan support across the chamber, because I agree with the honourable member that just spoken. I agree with him. I want to see the rates of smoking driven down in this country. In fact, I'd like them to see driven down to nothing. I agree with him that the scourge of smoking, we both sides of government and politics must tackle to drive those down. And I agree with him that the additional revenue that we can get will help repair the budget deficit that we have to tackle. However, Deputy Speaker, I would note that what we are actually doing, we're increasing the price of cigarettes 12.5%, 12.5%, 12.5%, 12.5% over the next 4 years. We're going to drive the price, the retail price of cigarettes, to $40 per packet. Now, I would hope, Deputy Speaker, that when many Australians see the price of cigarettes at $40 per packet in the shops, that they will make the decision that this is the time to quit. And if that happens, Deputy Speaker, we will have been successful. But my concern, Deputy Speaker, is that what will happen, we will be basically creating a prohibition by price. And where the wholesale price of a packet of cigarettes is the equivalent of $1 Australian in Asia, where there are hundreds, if not thousands, of tobacco wholesalers that lawfully sell the products in those countries for $1, and the retail price is $40 in Australia. The risk that we create, that we are going to turbocharge the illicit and underground market. We're going to turbocharge smuggling. We're going to turbocharge black market cigarettes, and we'll be giving a leg up to organised crime. Already, Deputy Speaker, the estimated usage is about 14% of every cigarette sold in this country today is from an illegal source or a counterfeit source that avoids the customs tariff. That's $1.6 billion lost to government at the moment. And I think we can see almost all of us would have stories around our electorates of small tobacconists, Deputy Speaker, that are selling this unlawful product. Common stories we hear, Deputy Speaker. A packet of cigarettes can be bought for $10, unbranded or counterfeit, I would suggest, from almost every electorate in this country. And the real danger is, if we put these cigarettes up to $40 a packet, what will that do to this market? There is a real risk, because of the price-sensitive nature of cigarettes, that we may merely be trading one health hazard for another. It is wonderful that we've heard the great results of teenagers, less and less teenagers, taking up smoking. But is the fact that we are making cigarettes more and more expensive, they're only diverting to other drugs instead. So with that, Deputy Speaker, I support this legislation. I want to see the scourge of cigarettes driven from this country. I want to see these smoking rates that we have declined in recent years, I want to see them decline even further. But we need to remember that if we're going to do this, we'll be increasing smuggling. We'll need to put more resources into law enforcement. There will be greater costs to society in other areas, Deputy Speaker. But we must monitor this situation very carefully, because history tells us what happens when you go down the track of a prohibition. And, Deputy Speaker, with this legislation, we are going by prohibition by price. I hope my concerns and fears are proved incorrect, Deputy Speaker, but this is something we monitor. We need to give more resources to our law enforcement officials to enforce that. And I hope, Deputy Speaker, I could come back here in a couple of years and say that I was wrong and celebrate that we have driven smoking rates down in this country. I thank the House.
I thank the member for Hughes.